Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Sorry, there has been a severe lack of uploads. I'm going to try and get back on the Football Manager train at some point soon and get the series back up and running. I also want to get back into talking about football, but as you know, Scottish football has been in an absolute disastrous state for the last couple of weeks. Mostly spearheaded by one club, and I don't even need to name the club. You know who I'm talking about. It's just been a farce. It's been an absolute farce, and I've been holding back all of my opinions, been holding back everything that I want to talk about up until now. I briefly touched on it back when this all started. We spoke about what was going to happen with the future of Scottish football, the future of football altogether. After all, it was stopped due to something ungodly, something that was never foreseen in a million years. You know, it was just completely out of the equation to ever happen. We didn't expect to have the game stopped due to something like the situation the world finds itself in right now. And on top of that, I discussed what I thought was the way forward, my own personal opinions. I also briefly touched on the reaction from some clubs within the Scottish game, but now it's been blown up to a completely new extent. We've had accusations of bullying, we've had clubs talking about being bullied into silence, we've had everything thrown out from a lot of teams. You know, teams like Hearts, who I'm happy with the situation they're in, Partick Thistle, who have been harshly done by with the situation they find themselves in. But mostly, as I've said, there's been a campaign spearheaded by one club in particular, which has brought a completely embarrassing episode to what looked to be a perfectly fine season up until now. And that club, of course, is Rangers. And today, we have found ourselves in the situation where they're asking for this whole EGM to launch an independent investigation into the SPFL after the SPFL had their own independent investigation, which seen there was no wrongdoing. Rangers didn't think that was it. And you all know the story. I don't need to recap. I'm here to give my opinions on the events of today, but just very briefly, the investigation came back. Rangers weren't happy with it. They said, nope, we want our own one. We want to rally all the teams in Scotland, and we want to prove that there was wrongdoing within the SPFL. We want to prove there is corruption. We want to prove there is bullying. And now Rangers have been left with egg on their face, as only 13 of the 42 clubs have came out and backed the proposal for an independent investigation. However, will this be the end of the matter? Indeed, it will not. I am not getting my hopes up to say that this is the end of this embarrassing chapter within Scottish football. There is so much more yet to come, I imagine, once again, led by the team over in Ibrox. But we'll need to wait and see what they say. The results have just been published of that EGM vote, and it is one that has a substantial sway in the direction against Rangers. And as everyone knew, as everyone bar the select few teams and sets of fans in Scotland, there was nothing to launch an investigation for. I mean, we all knew it. Celtic fans knew it. Other clubs knew it. There has been absolutely no proof of any wrongdoing, any corruption, any bullying. We've yet to have anything provided. So this vote today, there was always a foregone conclusion. I don't know what the Rangers board were expecting at all from this. And yet there will be a carry on that will come from this. You know, there will be something that will lead into something else. It's going to be vote after vote, statement after statement, as it has been for the last couple of weeks, until Rangers get something that suits them. That is, you know, ultimately what Rangers want from this. They're not happy in the situation they find themselves in. They find themselves in a situation where A, they want money, B, they don't want Celtic getting 9 in a row. So they're going to fight their hardest till they get to that point, but they're doing it in a way which has completely embarrassed the whole Scottish game. Now, I know there is always this point scoring contest between Celtic and Rangers fans, you know, who's worse than the other, who complains more, who greets more, who's better than who. At the end of the day, Celtic fans and Celtic as a football club have sat silent during this whole entire thing. We have not demanded anything, we've not said anything, we have let the SPFL get on with it in the manner that they have. The way they've conducted it has, you know, had nothing to do with Celtic fans, as it had nothing to do with Rangers fans. They made their decision. They made a decision which they thought was in the best interest for Scottish football, but it couldn't be done without creating a ruckus. Now, in a court of law, you need to provide, you know, some form of hard evidence to get anywhere. You know, if you want a decision to sway your way, you can't go to court, accuse somebody of bullying you. You can't go to court accusing somebody of attempted murder or anything, from whatever extent it may be to another, without any sort of hard evidence. Rangers have came out over the past few weeks accusing the SPFL of corruption, accusing clubs of bullying each other, and they're not the only ones. I'm not going to just say it's Rangers. Of course, Inverness released their statement, which was proven a nonsense by the likes of Dunfermline. But you cannot go to a court of law and expect to win anything without any form of evidence. Have they provided one shred of evidence? in this dossier that they announced, in this EGM vote that was supposed to rally every club in the country, have they proven anything? No. And yet this is something that they called for the heads of executives in the SPFL, which is absolutely outrageous. These are guys in SPFL who, yes, I don't even have a high opinion of. I'm not a big fan of Neil Doncaster. I'm not a big fan of Murdo McLean. I'm not a fan of a lot of people in SPFL. I believe that, yes, we're run in a way that probably is questionable at times. But they have went out and called for the heads very, 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 very clearly. In statements, they have shown that they want these guys gone. They're calling for their heads. They say they should be gone. They're calling for the sack. But without any evidence to back that up. You can't just go out and make accusations without having the proof to be there. And this vote today once again proves that there is nothing there. But at the end of the day, there's still going to be Rangers as a club tweeting and posting statements. There's still going to be Rangers fans tweeting absolute nonsense. There's still going to be YouTube videos that's absolute nonsense. There's still going to be everything in the world that Rangers fans will get behind, will retweet, will share to try and rally this false image, this false idea that Rangers are completely in the right here, when it's far from the truth. And the result of today's vote proves that. But no, in Rangers' eyes, what it will be that they are once again part of a conspiracy which is everyone against Rangers Football Club, which is completely and utterly nonsense. It's not the case. The case is that they have made a fool of themselves. They have tried their best to wangle their way out of it. They thought they would have had the support of many a club. Look, they have got 13 teams. I don't know who the 13 exactly are. All we know is Rangers are there, Hearts are there, Stranraer are there, Falkirk are there, Inverness are there. But there's nothing that if there's proof of bullying, this goes to Inverness as well. Show us the proof. Give us it. If it's all in these group chats and all the rest of it, why are you not producing the evidence? Surely you've got it there. If you want to take this as far and as seriously that you're claiming to, then you must have something to back it up. Because you can't just come out and make it. Dunfermline came out and absolutely rubbished it. And nothing was said back. So I kind of find myself in a situation I don't know what to look at and what to believe at this point. This time there's no calls for votes coming in late. There's nothing to say about clubs not getting it in time and being persuaded to change it elsewhere. Rangers were absolutely pumped in today's vote. They needed 42 teams to back them in this. They got 13. They are long behind in the number they needed. And there is no excuse. It is over. The SPFL have called for everybody to unite within the system and come together to find a way to end the season safely, a way that is in the best interest of the fans, the players, and their health and safety first. Ultimately, it's not going to happen because by the end of the night, we're probably going to have a statement from Rangers. By the end of the week, we're probably going to have a call for another EGM or something. It's going to be an absolute farce, as it has been from the start. This has been utterly... It's just been bewildering, utterly bewildering. It's the most embarrassing chapter in Scottish football history that certainly I've had to witness in my 20 years of being on this planet, but I'm sure for people who have spent 60, 70, 80 years on this planet, the most embarrassing chapter of Scottish football. And that's because one team just couldn't accept the end result, quite frankly. Look, Hearts were by far the worst team in the league. They are rightfully going down if the season ends where it has to. Partick Thistle are hard done by, I understand. Stranraer, they're bottom of their league. Celtic, 13 points clear at the top of the Premiership table. In February and March, Rangers fans were shouting it was done, but suddenly it's mathematically possible for them to win the league again. We've been through all of this. But there's nothing to cry about. Votes have been submitted in time. 2 teams didn't vote. Even if they did vote, it wouldn't make a difference because Rangers total could go to a max of 15 and they needed 32. So today should bring an end to everything. Ultimately, it's not going to. It's a farce. And I'm fed up of seeing the victim card played by Rangers and Rangers fans constantly. I don't like to come on here and come across as a biased Celtic fan, but grow up is the simple way to look at it for Rangers fans. Grow up and accept the decision that has been made. You have made false claims. You produced a dossier which has been called by many a water gun, because that's quite frankly what it is. There is nothing in it. There is nothing there that can do anything to persuade the majority of this country and its fans that there is anything to change their mind on and take this any further with the SPFL. Neil Doncaster, the rest of the SPFL board have made a decision which is quite frankly the only way it looks as though things can go. The leagues are done. We cannot play football in a safe manner by the looks of things, and if we can, I want us to do it so much, so badly, because at the end of the day I want Celtic to be able to say they won their 9 in a row rather than Rangers fans say we were gifted 9 in a row when we've not been gifted anything, because quite frankly we were by far and miles the best team in the league. But it's over. Accept it. You couldn't do it. And now I feel like there should be consequences for Rangers to actually face for every accusation, for every false claim, for every bit of nonsense that they have produced over the past 2 weeks. But the sooner it's all done, the better. Raise the league flag high over Celtic Park. We are 9 in a row champions. Rangers are an embarrassment. The annoying thing is it's only a matter of time before Rangers come out and come away with something like teams were bullied into making a decision for this fault. Because no one can pull up their pants and do it themselves, it seems. It's got to be blamed on someone. There's a blame game everywhere. It comes from every direction with every statement that's released. I just want it all to be finished. I've not wanted to really come on and talk about it because for me it's just an embarrassing chapter that I want to put behind us. As a Celtic fan, I'm proud of our club for sitting in silence during the whole thing and basically laughing it up. Because we know we're rightfully champions. We know what matters is, you know, people are safe. But I don't know. It's crazy. It's blown out of proportion to extents that I would never have imagined. And I think this vote today should hopefully just spell the end of everything. But we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see what happens. Anyway, that's my opinion on it all. If you want more, you know what to do. Hit like and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I know there'll be a lot of people who don't agree with things that I say in this video, but you know what? We'll keep going anyway. I hope you've all enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time.